Hey class, welcome to the Labor Day special
Yes.
of the Scummy Church podcast.
Yep. Before we get started, we'd like to take a second to talk about our sponsors. Mikey, you can start it off.
Today we're sponsored by every laborers union in the country, and they recognize us for our hard work and our determination and our willingness to do the right thing. Thank you, laborers unions, every single one of them. Plumbers, truck drivers, bus drivers, UPS drivers. A lot of driving unions support us.
And you can go to https.laborsunions.com and you can type in the promo code Kruisin. That's cruising with a K to get off any labor wear. Also, we're responsible by the invisible microphone, the only microphone that's completely invisible.
That's right. And it works.
We're sponsored by baseball. And just baseball in general. The entire sport of baseball.
Baseball.
Shout out to baseball. And am I forgetting about any?
I feel like there's one Native American tribe that sponsors us.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. They'll send us an email and they'll let us know.
Yeah, I think it's the Hikawi Indian tribe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Those are good guys.
Those are good guys. And, I don't really understand why they sponsor us.
They're just fans.
Yeah.
Anywho,
let's start this off with something we were just talking about. How many beers do you think would be 500,000 sips of beer?
Oh my gosh. That'd be... Well, I mean...
Well, let me pull this up.
How many sips of beer...
Is
how
it
many
one
sips
beer?
does it take to get through one beer? I'd say probably you could do a beer in 10 sips. So that's 5
big sips.
Yeah, we'll call it. Let's call it 12 then. So 12, 500,000.
At least 10. So 500,000 divided by 10.
We'll do 12.
Okay, 500,000 divided by 12.
Divided by 12.
That would be 41,666
so
beers.
42,000 beers, basically.
Yeah, 42,000 beers would be 500,000 sips.
500,000.
What do you think is the
most
beer ever drank? In one, like,
Wade Boggs on that airplane across the country. What he drank is that Sunny episode. He drank like 99
Mantis Toboggan.
Yeah. And then D keeps calling him Boss Hog.
Dude, Andre the Giant also I heard could throw back beer, but also that's cheating because that guy's like
he's the giant.
Yeah, he's literally a giant.
A real life giant.
Yeah. Now, yeah, dude, beer though. Getting drunk off beer is like. Beer, I will say, is my favorite form of drinking alcohol, personally. But getting drunk off beer is kind of not the move.
Why not?
I don't like feeling full like that. It makes my stomach, like, I just feel like a big old hoss.
No, I agree with that, but I like the slow burn aspect of getting drunk off brews.
Yeah, we'll have to have a beer podcast one day.
Yeah, we will. Drink beer and then talk nonsense.
Talk politics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Politics 2024, big election coming up, and I don't think we're going to talk about that. I don't think we should talk about that.
No, we're not. I mean, even though you guys already know where we stand politically, obviously, we've made it very obvious.
Yes, we're voting for Grimace.
Yeah, we're voting for Grimace, so,
Yeah.
So, okay, don't talk about politics, Lee. All right, anyway. So you've been taking Ozempic, is that right?
Oh, I've been taking Ozempic. I crush it up and snort it.
Yeah, and
my brain's getting smaller.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Nice. So last time, we were on the pod. What did we discuss last time?
Baseball. The album, I think we talked about the album here and there.
Yeah, we talked about the album.
Talked about we talked about my big night, Joey's big night.
Oh, yeah.
And that other person's big night.
Yeah, who we didn't name.
Who we did not name.
I don't know. We talked about yours and the boss's friendship.
Oh, yeah.
For a while. That was probably about 20 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah. You know what, actually, on next weekend, next Friday, I'm going to the O's game, and then on Saturday, I'm seeing Yes open for Deep Purple.
Whoa.
Yup. That'll be cool.
So, okay. Wow. Jesus Christ. They are both been around for so fucking long, dude.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Well, how do you listen to Yes or Deep Purple?
Yes. I've listened to way more Deep Purple than Yes, to be honest. But I mean, who doesn't love Roundabout? Who doesn't love those classic
I think
memes?
Yes are one of those bands that like are a lawsuit band where there's like multiple yeses, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? A little LA Guns situation.
Yeah. So yeah, Yes are cool.
I'll try not to get sued.
Yeah. Deep Purple came out the new album. I didn't listen to it because
Yeah.
I
Maybe I'll give it a listen because I'm sure they're gonna play one or two songs and everyone's gonna be like, okay.
it's just like
Play Smoke on the Water.
yeah, like is it okay? Here's a good question: is it better to burn out or fade away? Because what Yes and Deep Purple are doing, and I'm not discouraging geezers from going out and doing what they love and rocking out, and honestly, respect to both those bands because they both put out new music like all the time. So respect to them, but like Deep Purple, I'm sure there's some stuff they can't even play
Probably not.
because Ian Gillan still sounds good, but it's like he can't like do Child in Time anymore, and like
I think it depends because like if for me personally, I'd be fine with quote unquote fading away because Deep Purple technically faded away, but they're still selling hella tickets.
Where is
They
it?
still
Where's
got a
the
lot of
show?
fans. It's at Jiffy Lube Live, and for the audience, that's basically just like a pavilion.
It's an outdoor venue, but
yeah.
it's pretty big.
It's big, and the lawn isn't open, so they're not like selling out the whole thing. They're just selling out like the seating area, which is still pretty big.
Yeah.
Still pretty big. So again, like you're fading away, you could still sell like a couple thousand tickets. That's fine by me. But if you're like, I don't know, if you really get off on being the biggest star, then neither of them are really going to be good for you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like it does make you think like some of these people. There's been a lot of people who've retired, and I would assume that Deep Purple and Yes could live comfortably and retire. So it makes you think like, I guess they just want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Fucking A, respect, man.
Might
I mean,
as
like,
well.
and also like, is anything they're gonna do now? Does it tarnish their legacy? I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Because they already influenced everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, basically like 80% of people who play guitar, one of the first songs they learn is Deep Purple.
It was one of the first ones I learned for sure.
Same. I think it was probably the second or third. First riff I learned was the Crazy Train riff. And then I learned Smoke on the Water and Rock You Like a Hurricane somewhere along the line.
Nice.
And
That's
then
a good one.
Joey, for some really odd reason, wanted to learn how to play Can't Stop by the Chili Peppers.
That one's a bit trickier than the others.
It is. And then so I sat and tried to learn with him, and this was like before I really played guitar, but after I learned that, I was like, oh, this is fun, and I just kept learning songs. That's pretty much like when I started actually playing guitar. So Can't Stop was the first song I learned.
Do you have a Zin?
Yeah, where I consistently started playing guitar was the Chili Peppers, which is kind of really random, I think.
I have a weird situation with the first song I learned. I remember reading somewhere that Bruce Springsteen, the first song he ever learned on guitar was Twist and Shout by the Beatles. So I was like,
oh, really?
Oh, I should just learn that one.
There you
and
go.
then I was like, I just couldn't get it. Like, I don't know if it was, like, maybe not, like, a pronounced enough riff to catch my ear. But the first song I really learned, and when I say song, I mean riff. Like, I did not learn full songs all the way, was Highway to Hell. Very simple. Kind of tricky when you're starting off, though, because I don't know how you play it, but I always played it with the thumb on that one chord where it's a D with the F sharp in the bass. And I was like, whoa, dude, this is pretty sick. And then I just did what everyone else did, and you learn a bunch of Nirvana and Metallica and AC/DC.
Yep.
And then Led Zeppelin's a bit trickier, throw in some, Crazy Train in there. The first lead I learned, I think, was Hotel California.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I think the first lead
Or
I learned
Bohemian
was...
Rhapsody. One of those two.
Mine was Smells Like Teen Spirit. And that was really easy, and I was like, this is easy. Guitar is easy.
It's a classic solo. I used to be, kind of anti-Kurt Cobain Nirvana, but I've come back around. Don't you worry, listeners. I've come back around to Nirvana. I don't think they're ever going to be one of my favorites, but I'll take it one step further. He was the most important guitar player of the 90s.
Yeah.
Not saying he was the best, but he was the most. He was like the most
that.
Important. Easily, no competition.
Yeah. I always say that it's pretty impressive what Kurt Cobain and Nirvana did with not really doing all that much crazy stuff. Like, it was all relatively simple, and it just was still cool as hell.
Yeah, and also, like, that's not the point. Like, it's not like he was trying to.
Mm-hmm.
He was just, like, writing songs and playing them with his buds.
Mm-hmm. I read Dave Grohl's book, The Storyteller, a couple years ago, and he was describing it because he just got, like, he joined the band, like, Nirvana was kind of like, they were like a bigger, like, underground band, but they weren't mainstream at all. And he said so they were just touring, and then just more and more people started showing up at the concerts. And I remember in the book something like this, he was saying, like, yeah, we started seeing, like, jocks and, like, that kind of crowd showing up to our concert, and we were just like, what the hell? Why are these, like, these are the guys that fucking bullied us all the time. Now they're coming to see us, paying money to see us play.
Yeah, they were kind of like the OG, like, loser band.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like a thing now. But, like, before that, bands were like I wasn't alive back then, but, like, that's like a thing now. It's like misfit guys starting a band.
Yeah.
Playing.
I mean, I guess it's kind of always what punk was.
Yeah, and I think it always was
Mm-hmm.
that, like, just for everything. But, like, you'd have, like, the Rolling Stones, like, sure, maybe they were losers, but they had been around for so long that it was like they were just always cool, like, guys like that. And that's kind of what Nirvana, they were, like, anti fucking, like, Kiss and Aerosmith, who were, like,
even though Kurt Cobain loved both those bands.
Yeah, but, and they liked the music, but they didn't like, I guess,
the corporate bull crap.
Yeah, man. But wait, was Kurt Cobain really part of the Kiss army?
Yeah, he liked Kiss a lot.
Yeah.
As far as I'm pretty sure he was
I think
a big
I
Kiss
have
fan.
heard that. That's hilarious. Dude.
And he loved Zeppelin, the Beatles, and Aerosmith. I know he loved Aerosmith because one of my favorite Nirvana songs is Aero Zeppelin.
I think I read somewhere that James Hetfield and Kurt Cobain's favorite Aerosmith song is Nobody's Fault from Rocks.
Really?
Which is by far the heaviest Aerosmith song that I can think of. Which I think that's a pretty cool pick for them.
It is, it makes sense.
Yeah, they were just kind of the ultimate. I mean,
how about the Nirvana Axl Rose beef?
Yeah, that was everyone hated Axl Rose back then.
I know,
and he's kind of come back around.
Yeah, well, dude, he was a fucker.
He was a fucker.
He was up to no good.
Yeah.
But no, because he was a big fan of Nirvana. Like, you can see he's in the one scene in the Don't Cry video where he's, like, on, like, the therapist couch or whatever.
Yeah.
He's got a Nirvana hat, like, sitting right next to him.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I know Guns N' Roses and especially Axl Rose were, like, I wonder what was really going on. I wonder if it was, like, what the stories and what they would hear about the band that would get these bands upset, or if it's more so the actual antics. Because, I mean, they definitely did, like, this showing up late thing and getting mad and stuff but, like, they would, I think it's been pretty well documented that, like, those guys were fans of all, like, newer, like, he was a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. They brought out Metallica, like, I know Slash was a big Metallica fan, I'm pretty sure, like, and then, like, Soundgarden opened for him, Faith No More opened for him, like, I heard that Axl Rose was a big Chris Cornell fan, and, you know, so they were, like, trying to, like, help these other bands out, but they just all fucking hated him.
Yeah, well, Guns N' Roses was so dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Back then.
Like,
so bad.
Yeah, like, dude, I've never had really a problem with anybody for like that long of a period of time. So it makes me wonder, like, what is it like when like someone like Slash and Axl Rose, like, they meet each other again for the first time in years, and obviously it's like they're not like calling each other up. It's like business people are contacting other business people, but at some point those two will get in a room together, and I wonder what it's like. You know, it's probably just like, it makes you think like, damn, dude, we've really been arguing over all this time for like for why?
Yeah, I mean,
they probably forget why at some point.
Probably. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. It seemed like it was pretty bad back then, but they probably moved past it. And honestly, it could just be that they pretty much only see each other when they're on stage or rehearsing.
That is
like,
true.
Other than that, it's possible they never even they're not around each other at all.
Dude,
aside from then.
You know what? I'm sick. You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of bands breaking up for good.
What do you mean?
Everyone has reunions now, bro. It's like, when is anybody just gonna...
Wait, you're tired of bands breaking up for good, or you miss bands breaking
I
up for good?
I miss bands breaking up for good. That shit was
lie.
awesome.
They all lie.
Like, for the first one that got me going, like, really, was the Black Crowes. Because it was well documented that those two hated each other. And they were like... Then they get back together, and I'm not sure how much you know about the Black Crowes, but...
Not a lot.
They got back together, but it was not really the OG Black Crowes guys, other than those two. And, you know, good for them. You know, they came out with the album that was, I didn't think that good. Definitely my least favorite Black Crowes album. And now, the big news is Oasis are getting back together.
Oh, yeah.
And those guys, I don't know how much you know about them. I don't know how much I know. I'm not like, I don't know that much Oasis, but...
Neither do I.
Those guys did not like each other. Like, at all.
No, they did
and
not.
they like they both of them seemed like fucking idiots over it, in my opinion.
That seems like an ego problem.
Yeah.
I think the worst case of that was Motley Crue, though, because they did that whole final tour thing.
That was
signed
bullshit.
a contract, said all that, like, we're not getting back together. Then they get back together. From what I hear, just absolutely screw Mick Mars. Kind of. I don't know the whole situation, but it sounds like they kind of screwed him a little bit.
He's out of the band, and they're like still kicking, and you know.
And Vince Neil.
I honestly think he's gotten in a bit better shape. I don't want to kick. You know what? I'm not gonna kick him when he's down.
Oh no, I'm not either. I'm just saying.
I have really mixed feelings about Motley Crue, because part of me is like thinks they are absolutely one of the most overrated bands ever, and it's more so some of the about like the image and stuff. But like,
they have a big impact, that's for sure.
They do have like some really good songs.
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
I don't hate Motley Crue, but I do think they're a little overrated, and they didn't seem like they were in it for the music, man.
Dude, you know who the one? I don't know if we've talked about this yet on the podcast, but since we're kind of going down a bit of a rock and roll tangent, it's like, you know, all those 80s bands got like destroyed, right? By like grunge. Except for 3 bands I can think of. Let's see if you can think of who I'm thinking of.
Skid Row.
No, that's a good example, but they also kind of came out later, so I feel like...
Right.
And also they did eventually end up getting kind of destroyed.
True.
2 of them are kind of not really 80s bands, but had some staying power.
What, Aerosmith? Bon Jovi.
Yes, Bon Jovi
did
did not get impacted because, you know what they did? They just started writing ballads. And you want to know what? Ballads never go out of style, baby.
Ballads
Everyone loves a good, slow, sad song, and they murdered that. And, you know, I know we talked the last time about how we don't get along with those guys. Like, props where it's due. And the other one...
But we get along with Phil X really well, so that's helped. That's helped a lot.
I don't know if I'd really call them an 80s... I mean, they were an 80s band, but kind of more like a pioneer. Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
They lasted a while until, like, the late 90s when Sammy left. And they were making rockers, though. But I think just, like, they were so, like, impact. I think they were... And same with Aerosmith. Like, they were... Van Halen were like a cut above. They were never really like...
Yeah. They weren't like the... I mean, they kind of did start the 80s rock scene.
For
in
sure.
a way.
And Aerosmith, too, I would say, had a...
Yeah. But they were also, like, they were already around before that, and, like, again, they kind of were the biggest influences for all that.
Yeah, I love the hair cock rock. It's hit or miss for me, but I love the early '80s rock and metal.
Like the best '80s bands, like started in the '80s, so not Aerosmith, not
okay,
Van Halen.
let's go. Let's come up with let's come up with 10.
All right.
And are we strictly going cock rock, or can it be anybody?
I mean, yeah.
Let's do hard rock, heavy
cock
metal.
rock adjacent, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
you go
Guns N'
first.
Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. Honestly, yeah, Motley Crue.
We'll throw Motley Crue in there.
That's 2. I mean, I like Cinderella a lot.
I like Cinderella. They're not. I don't
But
really
they
listen to them that much. I think they're good though.
Yeah. You wanna
Skid
add
Row.
them? 3. Oh yeah, 4. Skid Row.
Um.
About Rat.
Yeah.
You wanna count
Yeah.
them?
No, we could throw in Rat. Rat's first album's solid. I think they're kind of boring personally, but Warren D. Martini's got cool leads.
That's 5. Yeah.
So that's 5. I mean, are we gonna? I don't know if they're hair metal adjacent, but dude, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. Well, Judas Priest started in the '70s. What about like Iron Maiden and Dio?
Iron Maiden, their first one came out in
1980.
Oh, 80.
They definitely started in the '70s, but I'm just going off their debut.
Yeah, I guess they would. I mean, they are hard rock, so yeah, definitely Maiden then. And then there was one more. I was gonna say, Quiet Riot. They
Quiet
were
Riot.
kind of the first ones. In a
I
way,
don't
too.
know enough Quiet Riot, but they're pretty solid.
I mean, their
songs.
first album, Metal Health and Come On Feel the Noise.
Well, then
even
what
though that
about
was-
Ozzy solo?
Oh,
Does
yeah.
he count? Because he definitely was like kind of in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his stuff is like pretty much better than anybody we've named, except for like Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
maybe.
Whitesnake.
They started in the '70s.
Oh,
Yeah, they're a weird band. They have like a ton of like albums from like the '70s to the mid '80s that were like kind of like blues boogie woogie kind of a sound, like not too dissimilar from the '70s stuff. And then I don't know what happened. They were just like they changed it up. But who else is good? That's about everybody. I mean, Dio, does he count? I mean, he's definitely way more like of the heavy metal, like classic metal, but he was around kicking it. So, but yeah, like a lot of my favorite like '80s bands either started in the '70s, then like you have like U2 started in the '80s, but they're not in that scene. Like a lot of the alternative stuff, I find has aged a lot better.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say when we were talking about like the loser bands, because like the whole first wave thing, like that makes me also think of like the Smiths.
Oh yeah,
And like those kind of guys.
and they were all really big in The Cure as well.
Yeah. Those were kind of OG loser bands.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely were, and they were like big in the '80s.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude, that people.
That's where like goth started, kind of.
Yeah, I think like people act like the '80s were just the cock rock, but they're like the alternative scene was like that was the best that alt rock ever was, and that was the only time alternative rock was actually like alternative.
Yeah,
I feel like.
So yeah, I guess because grunge is more like it's still
They
but
call
it's-
it alt rock, but it's
hard rock.
really not
Yeah, kind of.
alternative. It was mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like in the '80s though. You had the Smiths, you had the Cure, Depeche Mode, then like some of the more punky bands like the Replacements and whatnot, and yeah.
You know what a really random '90s band is that kind of doesn't fall into any of those categories? They're kind of like pop rock. Is Weezer, and is also a hilarious band.
Yeah, they're another band that I have mixed feelings about. Like I think they're really good songwriters, but a lot of their shit is just so cheesy, and maybe it's the
Yeah.
later stuff. But like,
Yeah, Beverly Hills.
yeah,
That
I like
comes to
that. I
mind.
actually do like that one, but I know a lot of people don't like that one.
I mean, it's like a catchy song, but
Yeah, it is goofy.
It is dumb. Yeah, it's funny.
Nah,
It is-
dude, I
it's not
like
a terrible song.
I think they call a lot of that like power pop. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of that sound.
Yeah, I don't
personally.
mind it. And their good songs are really good.
Yeah, like Say It Ain't So, that's a
That's a killer.
classic. And
Buddy Holly,
yep,
fucking Hash Pipe, that's a killer
Hash
riff,
Pipe's
honestly.
a good one. Island in the Sun.
Island of the Sun, that video with the monkeys.
Yeah.
Of course, I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, is it multiple monkeys? It's just one monkey, I think.
It's kind of funny though, cause like.
That's a really good department store song.
Yeah.
Island in the Sun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Weezer are a great department store. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of the obviously like tons of '80s bands just could not, or not even bands, like solo artists too. Like Huey Lewis wasn't around in the '90s. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people like just got destroyed by the '90s, and then like. Same thing in the 80s, though. Like, a lot of those, like, 70s bands got wrecked by the 80s. But there was probably more carryover. Like, AC/DC killed it in the 80s, for the most part.
They just stuck to their guns.
Aerosmith, Van Halen, even though they're not really... Their first album was, like, 78, so I don't know if I really count that, but...
Yeah.
You know what's another good, like, new wave band? Is the Cars.
Oh, yeah, the Cars.
The Cars
really
have
good.
so many good songs, dude. They're definitely one of the best from that era. But yeah, I mean, rock. You know what's another interesting era of rock is the 2000s. Like people are like feel like people act like rock died after grunge, but it really did not. I mean, because like bro rock is still to this day huge. I feel like
it is. And
then
metal is the biggest it's ever been.
Oh yeah, and but like. Also, like, the underground in the 2000s was really good. Like, White Stripes, The Strokes, and all those bands managed to kick it in the mainstream. So, I don't really understand where that comes from. I think it's just because there was a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I think the 90s just... Because everything, like, before that, like, from the 60s to, like, through all the 80s, it was, like, rock. Like, just straight rock in different aspects. And then, you know, the 80s metal started becoming more of a thing. And then by the 90s, it all just got shaken up so much, and it just opened up a lot of new, like, doors. So, like, rock was still kind of, like, it was still mainstream, but it was also, like, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Like, more alternative stuff. And I don't know, it just all got shaken up real.
I will say, rock's stock recently, though, has dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Like, with critics. And metal has kind of, like, back in the day, like, even when we were like kids and like music you didn't hear about metal like unless it was Metallica. They have bands for whatever reason they just have always been like the metal band.
Yeah.
And Black Sabbath too, but that's kind of different. But like I know we actually did a video with our good old buddy Jack, who we reacted to. We never released it. I don't know why. I think it was just because it was a messy ass video.
Yeah.
But we did. We reacted to like Rolling Stone's top 500 albums, and like you could see how much rock stock has dropped. Like it wasn't all Beatles anymore. I mean, there was a lot, but like Dark Side of the Moon, that was like in the 70s, which is like, and it's not like that shit. That shit doesn't matter. It's kind of just like interesting to look at and shit on, but like before like. Dark Side of the Moon was like that was like, oh, that's the greatest album ever. Like, so it's definitely interesting to see how like everything is very like R&B focused now, and I'll throw hip hop into that because there's like a lot of collaboration between the two genres, like starting in the 2000s. So
you know, I have a theory about like rap and hip hop, and like you know, like when we were in high school in the late 2010s, I think rap had its like hair metal era with all the SoundCloud rap and like the mumble rap, and because I was like all about image and stuff and like the music, like there's a lot of good songs that came out that I like, but like it was very much similar to the 80s, late 80s hair metal scene where it was just
a lot like
party,
do drugs.
Don't really like the music was fine, but it wasn't anything like. It wasn't that deep, for lack of a better term.
I mean, you had like, you could say Lil Pump was like the Poison of rap.
Yeah, exactly.
To an extent. Yeah, I've also said that, and also, rap. Now, who's the biggest rapper now? I don't know. It's probably Ice Spice.
Maybe, yeah, I guess. Maybe.
Dude, women have taken over rap. They really have.
Right.
And
I feel like Drake is still probably like one of the most listened to artists. Right now.
He is, but when's the...
I mean, well, he's probably laying low after the whole Kendrick thing.
Yeah, that was Kendrick. If he just doesn't put out a lot of stuff, but he's still. I think he'll remain relevant through it. I think because there is something to be said about those guys that. And by the way, check out me and Jack on my YouTube channel. We did a video where we ranked Kendrick's discog, which is pretty interesting because I never really got into Kendrick Lamar. Like, I always liked him, but now I would consider myself to be a fan, especially of Good Kid, Mad City, which I think is one of the best albums of all time, any genre. Like,
yeah, my favorite Kendrick album. I mean,
yeah, that's by far. Like, To Pimp a Butterfly is great too. I think he only really has 2 good albums, in my opinion, or like great albums. Like everything else is solid.
Yeah.
But those 2 are a cut above, and especially Good Kid, Mad City, I think, is by far his best one.
Oh yeah, Good Kid, Mad City is really good. Obviously, To Pimp a Butterfly is
that's classic.
Damn is okay. I like Damn, but I don't know.
I didn't really like Damn that much, but I think it's hard to say because when you read about into the making of that, he was like playing into trends on purpose, and it was not so much like he was trying to like become bigger. It was more like, but I don't care about that. I'm just going off like how much I liked it, and like there is I feel like if I listened to it now I would like it more, but you know,
a little Doug.
But yeah, you know, Kendrick, he'll remain relevant throughout his entire career, I think. But circling back to Drake, when is the last time Drake came out with an album people said was good?
I don't know.
I've never listened to Drake like on my own time, but the
one he was it like Loverboy or something like that, or wasn't that his most recent one?
Certified Lover Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but did people like that one? I don't know. Let me look at his spot.
I thought so. I don't know. Drake has some, I only know like, you know, his most popular songs.
Yeah.
They're going crazy over there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never really got into Drake. I kind of always thought he was just like another rapper, but now, from my understanding, he was definitely, you know, a pioneer of whatever sound he does, it seems like. He's got a lot of albums. Yeah, he does.
Nothing, what's it called?
Nothing Was the Same.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Take Care was a big one.
Scorpion, I remember that.
For All the Dogs.
Damn, he's got a couple since Certified Lover Boy. I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, never mind. He was at one point like doing one a year, it seems like.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Scorpion, that was pretty big.
Yeah, what's on there? I don't know if I know any of these.
God's Plan.
Elevate and God's Plan, yeah.
Damn, it's a double album.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to, maybe I'll have to do a Drake deep dive one of these days, see what he's all about.
He's seen a couple interviews. He seems like a chill bloke. I watched him on, like the Sundays, Caleb Presley, what's it called?
Yeah.
Those are funny. I watched him on that. He was pretty cool. He seemed like a chill dude, pretty funny. And his son was in it. His son is, he's like 5, but he's pretty funny too.
What was it? What did he get? What was Kendrick dissing him about it?
Kendrick?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. He was making some allegations that I know nothing about.
Yeah, I don't want to comment on it. You know, Drake's a friend.
Yeah, we're good friends with him. We're friends with Kendrick too. So.
Yeah, we are too. I don't want to get in the middle of this.
No.
But definitely like the golden age of hip hop was like 1988 through like 2005 probably, or 2010. That was like, I feel like, you know, because 2000 you had like Kanye was doing a lot of very, very relevant stuff, which I've also never listened to, so I'm not going to comment on it.
Yeah. Dude,
Outkast were killing it.
Wu-Tang, they were 90s, right? They kind of.
Yeah, but even into like the 2000s, they had like a lot of like solo albums that fucking you'll still hear people talk about. Now this is an album I have listened to. 50 Cent, Get Rich, Die Tryin'.
Oh yeah,
great hip hop album.
Yeah, the movie's great too.
I never saw the movie, but
it's good.
Who's another good 2000s rapper?
I mean, you gotta throw a bone at Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, Eminem. Even though, dude, he might have the most, like, we talked about Burnout or Fade Away. God, dude, it's almost like a meme every time he comes out with the album. How much people hate it. Like, I don't think I've listened to anything since like Marshall Mathers 2.
That was really good though.
Which was solid. Did that have Rap God on it?
Yeah, that had Rap God.
Which is a classic.
Berserk was cool. Actually, you know what? The one song on that album, Survival, I think it's called, has a pretty cool riff that I learned back in when that came out in like 7th grade. I remember I learned that riff, and it was in Call of Duty Ghosts,
which is a slept-on video game.
Yeah, it get a lot of hate, but I enjoyed it. I also,
dude, I don't understand how a Call of Duty game can get hate. I mean, just like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not like the biggest Call of Duty head there is. I mean, I like it. I don't buy every new game though, but seems like it's pretty much the same thing every time.
Pretty much is, and I think that part of is why they. Well, the thing is, they get so much hate, but they still are like the most sold games every year.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever.
But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of video games though that come out and it's the same thing all the time.
Every sports game, basically.
I mean, but video games is like, it's different than music because like it's interactive, so it's like you're gonna have fun pretty much no matter what. Like, I have not really played many video games where I'm like, damn, this is just not fun. But I mean, at that point, it's more a matter of personal taste. Like, I'm not as big on the sports games personally. I also haven't played them that much. Like, I definitely like storylines more personally.
I'm horrible at video games, so I play mostly single player, like story games 80% of the time, just because competitive stuff, because I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, but that shit just gets my blood boiling. I can't do it.
Yeah,
except for zombies.
You can't just hop into games anymore, dude, because you have these fucking losers that just all they do is play the game, and that time they're 8, and they just like,
they're just
dude,
so
even GTA, like, I can't play the game without getting like in a scuffle with somebody, and they just will destroy me nonstop on the map, and then I'm like, well, I have to shut the game off so I can even restart, or else this guy's gonna keep killing me. He's probably been, it's like 5 o'clock, he's probably been playing since 10 in the morning, just going nuts. Dude, remember that one time Jack spent all Joey's GTA money? That was one of the pettiest things, but
it was so funny.
That was so funny, dude. Damn, we should play some GTA later, but
for sure.
Even though it's not even a multiplayer game, we should play a co-op game later. The last new video game I played was probably Mario Wonder.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Which was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's Mario. Come on.
Now Mario, dude, he always kills it. When have you ever heard of like a bad Mario game?
Yeah, I literally don't think there is one. The only like complaints there ever was like all people would complain about the new series, like they're like, it's the same game every time, but it was still.
Yeah, I never played New Super Mario Brothers U, but New Super Mario Brothers Wii was so good.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they were, I guess, all the same game, but they were good. They were fun.
Oh man, we should start doing Let's Plays.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know how you'd record that video, but that would be fun. Yeah. But
yeah, it would be cool. I know how to do it on PlayStation. They have it like built in a way you can do it.
Well, there you go, dude. Yeah, comment if you guys would like to see that. Don, let us know what you would think about that. And by the way, if you guys ever have any requests, Don specifically, if you have any requests of something for us to talk about, we'd be more than happy to, because we've just been spitballing these entire podcasts.
Yeah, this is only the 3rd episode, and I didn't have the energy I had for the first 2 this time, and that's my own fault from the choices I made.
I didn't either, but
it's okay. We're getting through it.
We're getting through it, man. And but with video games, man, the problem is once I get into a video, I like hesitate to even play games now just because of how into it I get.
Oh yeah.
Like, it will consume my life.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Now, you know what's a great co-op game? One of the best, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, I never played that one.
That is a good one. That is a good one, dude. And yeah, that's.
I feel like Charlie is always playing some crazy.
Charlie's definitely the biggest gamer out of any of us, by far.
Yeah.
Remember that one game that him and his girlfriend played called It Takes Two, and we would watch them play, and they were just so bad at it. And then Mikey and I, like, he stopped playing, and then Mikey and I are like, all right, let's play. And we were just like so much better than them at it. And we were like, what is the problem here? Like, this game is kind of easy. You also didn't make it that far.
No, we didn't play that
because it
long.
wasn't that fun, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like we could have gotten into it, but the thing is, and Charlie has said this before, is that he's terrible at platformers, and that's kind of like a platformer.
The boys got bad depth perception, I guess, because I feel like that's all a platforming game is.
Yeah.
Dude, but some of those platformers are kind of fucking hard. Like what's a hard platformer?
Crash is probably the hardest one.
Yeah, the first Crash game is like, some of that shit is like.
Well, I'll say it's probably the hardest of like the big series, because then there's like other stuff, like I've seen like Donkey play some like crazy like just like indie games that just look insanely impossible.
You know which
to play.
one is hard as fuck? Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country
Mikey and I
Returns
played
are
that.
hard.
It was probably like 5 years ago, or so. And we were like, dude, what is this game? This is so damn hard. But it was fun.
We should whip that out.
Yeah, we should. Dude, honestly, I like a nice game that's got a little difficulty that's fun. Because when you're just blowing through it, and honestly, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, when you're playing with multiple people, gets tricky.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to wait for the other person, and it's just
if you
annoying.
have 4 people, it's a lot harder.
It's so hard, dude. Now, one game series that I would have liked to have gotten into, and is probably, like, I wouldn't say the ship has sailed on it, but I would have liked to have gotten into Zelda back in the day, but I didn't ever have Nintendo systems. Because, like, that seemed like everything I want in a game, gameplay seems fun. You get a little combat, little puzzles going on. Seems like...
Yeah, that's my favorite series.
Oh, it seems like there's a little platforming in there. Correct me if I'm wrong. A little bit.
Kinda. The thing about it is, like, there's never... In the new games there is, but in the old games there was never a jump button. It would just do it automatically, like if you went over a gap. There was some platforming, but it was like, again, it was pretty much automatic. But those games are my favorite games of all time.
Where would one start in the Zelda series? I can't believe we're going this far down the video game rabbit hole, but fuck it, let's just roll with it.
I would say I would start with Twilight Princess, because that's like the most polished of like the classic style, like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask. Like, they're all like the similar like gameplay style, gameplay loop, I guess, kind of thing. But Twilight Princess is like the most polished, and it's like it's not the newest one. Skyward Sword is good, but Twilight Princess is better. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would start there and then play Ocarina of Time.
Which one did people like and which one did people not like out of those two? I feel like there was one that people really fucked with and then one that people shit on.
People didn't like Skyward Sword as much. I liked it. I liked it, but that's, I think, the only one that I've only played once and then never went back to it. Because, like, it was fun, but, dude, it was long. It was super long, and, like, when it first came out, it was only motion control. And so was Twilight Princess, but it was different because they went way more into it in Skyward Sword, and it kind of was a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the motion control.
Yeah.
But I have Twilight Princess. I gotta get into it. That's more of a wintertime thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite games ever. But then the new games, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you can just sink so many hours into them. When the newest one came out last May, that's literally all I did in May was I would play that game. I think I put like 100 hours into it in May.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I mean, my favorite video game series of all time, bar none, Jak and Daxter series. It's got everything I want in a game. It's got the sandbox element, which I'm a big fan of. You know, it's got combat. It's got platforming. It's got a great fucking one of the better video game storylines I've ever seen, and it's not like a movie rip-off storyline either. And it was developed by these guys called Naughty Dog, who kind of went on to be like, become like the storyline thing. And
guess who?
That was kind of their first delving into it. And I guess who's in the video now?
You might be saving us, man.
Yeah, you might. Come on, grab a seat.
Come on, hop up. We need some help. We need some
All
motivation.
right. Yeah. Come on.
Aiden, we're talking video games. I had one more point to make, and that is that Rockstar, Naughty Dog, and Nintendo are probably the most consistently quality video game companies.
No,
What do you think about that, Andrew?
I like video games. I would say the most consistent is EA because they just make one every year.
Shut up. I'm talking about consistent quality and like doing new things, not EA.
Yo, Rockstar and Naughty Dog, although both of them have kind of rested on their laurels recently, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Naughty Dog with Last of Us.
But you know GTA 6 is going to be a life-changing experience.
That's the thing, dude. Like, I don't... Yeah, you know what? I would honestly give Rockstar the badge for it because they can keep doing GTA and keep making better. I don't really know what...
Oh, you probably cannot be heard at all right now. Wait, we're going to do a little pause. We'll put it, like, right there, and we'll talk
Video
a little
games,
louder.
I just think they're swell, you know? I think, you know, you're with a group of friends. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And you play video games, and you all bond over video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you control... It's like watching something, but you control it. That's what it's like.
Oh, this is a point I wanted to make.
And sometimes video game characters
Come on,
are
man.
fucking hot as shit.
Shut up, Aiden. You're being real crass. Let me make my point that isn't my point. Look, if you're a gamer, especially a Nintendo guy, and I'm sure you've heard of this guy, if you're a Nintendo guy, you gotta watch Scott the Woz. He does great videos, but he brought up a great point.
And he's our friend.
He's a great guy. He's from Ohio. I feel bad for him about that. Otherwise, great guy. But he has a really good point he was talking about, because he's like a collector, you know, and stuff, and he really cares about it and stuff.
I'm going to get a water. Anybody else want a water?
I'll take it. I have one on the counter. It's the small glass. Thank you. Thanks, bud. But anyway, he got a good point about, like, video games as an art form, and he's, like, concerned, not, like, concerned, but, like, his thing is, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, keeping them around, I don't know.
Keeping them. Are you trying to say he wants to keep video games, make them not happen to what happened with movies, how it's Marvelized now?
Kind of,
Is that what you're getting at?
more so like because, you know, with video games, for a lot of them, you need the specific console to play them. So I can't get the point I'm trying to get. So I'll go on to the other points that he made a really good point. He's like, they're basically, they're like the most complicated form of art that we have. Because think about how many people you need to get into it. You need a story. Well, you don't need a story, but there's that aspect for a lot of stuff. You need a really good story. Then you need all these people who program it, and then you need to make it look really good. Then you need to make it work on the hardware. Like, it's so complicated. And
yeah, so you need the software designers as well as graphic designers.
It's like the most
as well as
collaborative art form in a way.
That's crazy.
Now,
and also you need a bunch of fucking money because who you
That's
can make
stop-
you
stop
could
playing with the
you can
mic.
make a short film by yourself for pretty low budget. Nobody makes their own damn video game unless you're a mega nerd and it's on a little computer.
People
I was gonna say
definitely
people do. That.
Yeah,
But
people do, but you're not an Xbox game. You don't make your own Xbox
And
game.
you always need like a GoFundMe and stuff too.
I'll say this. We don't have to keep doing that. It'll be fine.
Okay.
I might be a little quieter, but it's okay.
Honestly, it's probably better than going.
Yeah. But I kind of like that video games, you have to have the console. Like, think about when we were growing up. Mike, you didn't have a damn clue about anything going on with PlayStation and Xbox. We only had PlayStation.
Actually,
I didn't play Halo because I was.
I didn't play
didn't
Halo,
have an
and I'm
Xbox.
glad I didn't, because fuck Xbox. PlayStation for life.
Oh, I like Xbox.
I see. The thing is, I used to, actually, this is sad, guys. Rest in peace, Game Informer. Did you ever get that magazine?
I'm familiar with
Is
it.
it
I don't
orange
know if
and
you ever
white?
got it.
The logo?
No. I
Never
don't
mind.
think
Oh, you're thinking of Orange and White magazine.
so. No, but that. Anyway, you could subscribe to that GameStop. So Joey and I did one time. So we would always be scrolling through, and we would see all the games, and every single game we wanted, besides the Nintendo stuff, was coming out on Xbox and PlayStation. But there was a lot of them also that only came out on PlayStation. So we went up to my mom one year. We're like, we want a PS3. We really want a PS3. Please, can we get a PS3?
And you hate PS3, I thought.
No, I don't like the controller that much.
Oh.
The controller is too small and a little uncomfortable. But we really wanted a PS3. We didn't get one. But then, flash forward a few years, we got a PS4.
Cool.
And that was awesome. But yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, you said something about Marvelized. Mike and I were talking about.
Oh,
yeah. Mikey and I were talking about it. Deadpool and Wolverine. One of the best, in my opinion, top 5 Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if you feel that way. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was great.
It was sick.
Hilarious. It was
Very
really
violent,
funny, too.
very R-rated.
Oh yeah, dude, it was
Very.
super violent.
Like,
Dude, that
The movies that I like are Fight Club. I like The Godfather.
you know you don't need to stand that close.
I like
yeah, you're gonna be killing people, man. Back up.
American Psycho.
Were you a Tate head?
Yeah, I was naming Sigma movies.
No. Now, I'll say this. Marvel movies, they'll never touch
Good movies.
like the good movies. But it's a superhero movie and
Yeah.
they're fun and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool.
Another one.
Honestly, the Deadpool ones are probably the best because they are like very self-aware in a way, and like also hilarious.
I would say most of the Infinity Saga.
You ever watch
Marvel
BattleBots?
movies were pretty solid.
Yeah.
After that, it's been like, all right, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. Very paint by numbers.
I like Marvel because it's like this. If you like one movie, and you're a stupid person, you'll like all of them.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is.
It's all the
yeah.
same thing. So pretty much, here's how they all go. There's some dude, regular dude, and something fucked up happens to him. Now they're not like any other human. They got powers that are unhuman-like. And then something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
A villain gets involved.
Something goes wrong.
Something goes afoot. Trouble afoot.
You
and
think
then
they tease you and they make you think that there's a possibility of them not winning, but then
Yeah.
you're like, oh wait, I'm watching a Marvel movie.
every time the hero wins, and they usually there's some banter, and usually there's a girl.
I'll say this though.
And the thing is, the girl's never fat and ugly. Fucking never. Name one Marvel movie where the romantic side is fat and ugly.
Name any movie.
Okay, I'll say this.
Oh, I got one. Norbit, classic.
I'll say this.
We're big Norbit guys.
I don't think Iron Man's girlfriend was hot.
Oh yeah.
Fucking insane.
No,
The one I'm thinking
she's
of?
Not.
She's
Pepper?
not hot. Pepper?
Oh, what's her name?
She's a great lady.
Yeah, she's fun. Oh, what's Gwyneth Paltrow? She's crazy too. I'll be honest. I've heard she's a little crazy.
I mean, she's a friend.
They're all actors. So
of
She's
course
a friend,
We're friends
but
with everybody in
let's
Hollywood.
talk about actors now. Unless your name is David, our friend, you just aren't as good as musicians.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of not
You're
good
just
things about
pretending.
actors.
We're authentic artists.
That's right.
Who's a cool actor?
David, that's it.
Yeah, Dave's a cool.
We like David. He's our friend.
All right.
Literally, he's our friend.
I'm trying to move away from this movie subject, but real quick, let's just settle it now. Marvel or Star Wars?
Star
You
Wars.
gotta say Star Wars. Marvel's just too far gone, man.
Star Wars is too at this point. But
I'm gonna give it a tie. Actually,
I just think
at its peak, Star Wars, but Star Wars is fucking done, bro. They're not gonna
Well,
put out anything good
I
ever
mean,
again.
I guess Marvel kind of is
Because
just one of the
Marvel
greatest
has
things
real
ever.
good potential
Also,
to
the
come
comics.
back in a big way.
Marvel has been around for, like, our grandparents, even, I guess, some people's great-grandparents were into Marvel. Versus
Yeah.
Star Wars is, like, if you're under 50,
And
you kinda
also,
get it.
if we're going from a... Okay, personally, I would probably take Star Wars over Marvel. But let me play the devil's advocate. Movie quality and acting, Marvel smokes Star Wars with special effects and just... Not even just acting, period. Just the people they have acting.
Mm-hmm.
They always have... Like,
that's true for everything except for the original trilogy. The original trilogy.
yeah, it's
kills.
kind of hard to compare because that was so long ago.
But
and
also,
they did have great actors.
without
Well, the
original,
cultural impact of the
Yeah.
original
Well,
trilogy
that's what I was about to say.
beats anything Marvel's done.
Without the original trilogy, there probably wouldn't be the Marvel movies like they are.
Now, I'll say this.
Hell no!
That's what I'm saying.
Natalie Portman, much better in Star Wars than in Marvel.
Oh yeah, she was in Thor.
She sucked.
forgot about
she
that.
sucked. I mean, she's hot, but her character sucked.
I liked her in Attack of the Clones because she was a sweet baby.
Dude, okay. Was she Wait, how much of a let's talk about how much of a
Yeah.
perv Padme was, bro.
She was
was
probably, like,
perving on a
17.
fucking 8-year-old.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sure, she was not legal in that movie, I don't think, but That was not right, bro.
What does Anakin say? Are you an angel?
Yeah.
Something like that. And she's thinking,
Now hold on, I will say this. Star Wars The Phantom Menace is worse than any... Well, that's not true, but it's worse than most Marvel movies. Now, I have seen some Marvel movies that were genuinely fucking horrible. The new Thor movie was fucking...
What's that one called?
Thor Love and Thunder. It was kind of funny.
that
Honestly,
sounds like a
Is that the
really
one with
bad
Shrek?
80s rock
Or not
album.
Shrek.
it was with Natalie Portman was in it.
Is Hulk in that one?
No. The one with Hulk is solid.
Is Shaq
Which
in
one
it?
is that?
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
That one is good. And honestly,
Rock guy.
Thor's buddies are solid.
Isn't
as hell.
Christian
the Rock
Bale
guy
one of
was
those?
awesome.
Isn't Christian Bale?
Is he?
He plays like a drunk Thor.
No, they're thinking of Chris Hemsworth, the guy who always plays Thor.
No, Christian Bale's in
No,
it.
he might be right.
The coolest Marvel actor is definitely Hugh Jackman, though, and we can all agree with
Huge
that.
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
But the thing with
And
all of these movies is, you compare them to a good movie, like you just said Hugh Jackman. Yeah, okay, he plays a silly, clawed guy. But you ever seen The Prestige by Christopher Nolan? Gosh, it's a phenomenal movie. It's about two magicians, and they're duking it out. Dude, magic tricks.
that's Hugh Jackman's in it, right?
tricks. That's my point.
Yeah.
Is those movies smoke them. Christian Bale,
And you're defending my point that Hugh Jackman is the coolest Marvel actor.
he's
Him
so cool.
and Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. 's
Robert
cool,
Downey
though.
Syndrome's so good. Downey Jr.
But that's what... Look, I know people have shit on Marvel because he's going to be Doctor Doom. But I don't give a fuck. He's a great actor. And you know what? I'm sure they're going to have to tie it in
You
somehow.
don't understand
We
that.
all know what his best role of all time is, though.
I'm not
won't
going to
say
say
it.
that.
Dude, okay, I'll say
We just
it.
implied
I saw
it.
a hilarious picture, and there's two different really fucking funny edits of this picture. And Mikey, I think you've seen the first one. Is it's all the black Marvel actors. So it's Samuel L. Jackson, whoever plays War Machine, Anthony Mackie, the guy
Don
who plays
Cheadle.
Falcon. Who?
That's who plays War Machine.
Yeah, I didn't know his name. Who else is black in Marvel?
Black Widow.
No. There's another
Nick
guy.
Cage.
Chadwick
Nick
Boseman. I don't
Cage.
think he was in that picture, though.
Who?
Nicolas
Chadwick
Cage.
Boseman.
No, he wasn't
He
in it.
was.
And then someone
Nick
edited
Cage.
behind them Frozone from The Incredibles. And it was fucking hilarious. And then there's another one where they edit
That's Samuel
Robert.
L. Jackson.
Yeah, and then they edit Robert Downey Jr. and Tropic Thunder in the background. And I was like,
funny
that's
shit.
awesome.
That's really
But the best Marvel.
Do you guys got any nicotine pouches?
Of course I did.
All right, let's end this topic. All right, best Marvel movie on 3.
Oh,
Right,
wait,
ready?
wait.
Let me think,
Does
let me
it
get
have
my
to be in
pick.
the cinematic
Aiden,
universe?
I think we're gonna.
Or,
Let's. Nah.
Hang on, let me think
Well,
about it for a
I know
second. Give
what
me
you're
10
gonna say
seconds.
then.
yeah, you probably do, but I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's just my favorite, but it's not the best.
I'll go with my favorite.
We're gonna.
hang
we're
on,
doing
hang on,
favorite
hang on.
or best?
Favorite.
Favorite. Okay.
Let me think. My favorite? Alright, I know it.
Okay, ready?
You guys ready?
I think Aiden and I are gonna have the same one. Do you think so, Aiden?
I think I know what you guys are gonna say. Also,
All right, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Captain America.
Spider-Man, the original Spider.
First
I
Cap-
thought about that.
First
But-
Captain
Oh my
America.
God, dude, that
I
smells
almost-
terrible.
I almost said
That smells really bad.
Spider-Man, but then I thought about dying in France and how glorious that would be. And
Captain America.
Captain
never did
America takes place during World War II, and a lot of American soldiers died in France gloriously.
And they set up the best storyline in Marvel in that movie with his buddy.
that. Oh, Bucky.
Yeah.
His name is Bucky.
Yeah. Oh, dude. You want to know what's hilarious? Aiden, you weren't here for this, I don't think, because you were at the hotel when we were in Nashville. And this is one of the... Mikey and I were just so fucking drunk in Nashville. So damn...
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one of the most drunk I think you and I have ever been simultaneously in public together.
I forgot about that.
And
yeah.
we go, and our friend Atlanta from the band Hexproof is like,
Shout out.
where are you guys? And we're like,
We're on what, like
we're like-
Broadway?
yeah, we're like, and I'm like, saying to Mikey, I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna find her, bro, because I can barely walk right now. And she wound up finding us, and Aiden, you're gonna laugh at this. Remember her one brother we met?
Mhm,
Well, she
yeah.
got another brother who's really fucking tall too, and she's like, oh, this is my brother Braxton. And
Yeah.
and I know Mikey and I were just like, that's awesome, because Braxton is contextually we call Aiden Braxton as well as many other names.
Yeah.
So we were like, damn, I didn't even meet anyone with that name before, but
I
That's
just
a
wish you
great
guys
name.
would stop calling me that.
Shout
shit.
out Braxton, not you. Shout out real Braxton.
yeah.
Shout out Atlanta.
He was a chill ass guy.
Shout out Hexproof. Go check out Hexproof.
Yeah, one of the best bands we played with by far, bar none,
Yup.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
Even though we were on tour, and then her entire band quit, and she has
Yeah.
a new entire band, which is fucking.
That's
Yeah,
because
she's-
Atlanta's fucking
she's-
built like that.
She
She's a
stands
beast.
on business.
Yep.
Yeah, Atlanta stands on business.
Yeah, she stands on
And
business,
that's
but
the truth.
they all hated going on tour.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys had to drive like 2 hours everywhere. What is your problem? Like, and they sounded great too. The whole
I
band.
hope they don't hear this. I hope they don't.
They're not
We're
going to hear
saying
this.
nice things.
I'm not saying anything bad about them.
I think they're
I
fucking
said they were a
sweet
great
and
band. I'm just saying they're.
so cool.
Yeah.
I think that they're. I think it's crazy that they didn't like touring.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do too, but I also get it. Like,
I get
It's
it.
not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the podcast
Yeah.
brought to you by Ford, built tough.
Ford
Back to
built
Ford F-150 Studios.
Any other sponsors you want to shout out?
Yeah, Ford, Dodge, Chevy, all the cars. We were sponsored by every car.
That's weird that all those competitors sponsor the same thing.
Every
we're-
car company sponsors us,
Once again, we're
except for
sponsor-
Subaru.
We're sponsored by the Invisible Microphone Company.
Yes, right.
Shout out to Invisible Mic, the only microphone that's completely invisible. We're sponsored by baseball. the
Brazzers,
Brazzers.
Brazzers.
Every labor's union sponsors us.
We're sponsored
Teamsters Union too.
by efucked.com.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Geico.
What
And
else are we
Progressive.
sponsored by?
and Progressive.
Yeah. Not Allstate though. We don't. We used to be, but we don't. We can't get into it legally. Brought to you. Electricity actually started sponsoring us.
Yes, electricity in general.
Yeah.
Not General Electric, electricity in general.
Next
The
time.
General.
The
Sponsored
general.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shaq.
I feel we're forgetting a bunch.
Well, we should tell them what we're going to talk about next podcast, and that is 5G. We're going to reveal the truth about 5G, if it really is controlling us or not.
Tim Dillon's going to be on that episode.
Tim Dillon might be. He might not be. We like Tim Dillon. We like his size. He's really fat.
He's huge.
And he's a huge person.
He's from Long Island. Yeah. We like Tim Dillon. Sometimes I listen to his podcast and chuckle.
I do too. I haven't in a little bit, but I do.
Brought to you by what else?
Manscaped.
Manscaped.
Use promo code Church of Scum for 25%.
Yeah.
off.
MeUndies.
MeUndies.
A
that's
freeze
right.
pipe. And of course NordVPN.
And NordVPN.
That'd be cool if these sponsors were like, oh, we're sponsoring these guys? Fuck, let's send them money.
Yeah,
What do you
and
mean
all-
they're sponsoring us?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Right.
Jeff? What's the other one that we're sponsored by? That's really a big
CBD
deal?
Lion.
What's the one? Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow
Yeah,
Legends.
Yeah.
Also,
They sponsor us.
Yeah.
hey, I just got an idea to get big.
Okay.
We love BlackRock is really good company.
Oh yeah.
I love
State
BlackRock.
Street Vanguard. We support them.
Mm-hmm.
We always say nice things about them.
Mm-hmm.
We want them to buy all the houses.
Yep. We would love to own nothing and be happy.
I want to own nothing. I
our
think
life
I
goal.
think it'd be if no one owned anything except for like 1% of the people, it would just be
So much- it'd be
easier.
so much better for
I wouldn't have to
everybody.
worry about any of that.
Fuck it, I'll say it. Sponsored by BlackRock.
Sponsored by
Yeah.
BlackRock.
Yeah.
And sponsored by the U.S. government.
Yep.
We love the government.
We love the
We
government.
love we love what they do.
They're nothing if not efficient.
We're sponsored by every single Arabian prince.
Yeah.
As well. We think they're great. We love what they're doing.
I like
We're
that they're
sponsored by them.
buying sports franchises around the globe.
Oh yeah. They got golf. They got UFC now.
Various soccer teams.
We're
That's kinda
sponsored
all
by
it is,
China.
though. Yeah, we like.
China. We
Well,
love Chinese
Not
people.
only do we like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, the U.S. government, we also support Russia, the Russian Federation, and China,
And Ukraine.
and Ukraine,
All at the same
and
time.
Israel, and Hamas.
And Palestine.
Let me read out.
Yeah, sorry, not Hamas,
Wow,
Palestine.
the end of this one is really getting.
Before we
I
end
think
this
that
podcast,
China
let
is
me-
allowed to invade Taiwan. I think that
All
should
right,
happen.
we should not have
Hold
Aiden
on.
ever
Hold
again. I
on. Let
think.
me name some more sponsors before we get off the podcast here. I have a list of them. Okay. Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, Arby's, Chick-fil-A, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Popeyes,
Not Carl's Jr.
Wegmans, Aldi's, Giant, ShopRite, Kroger. They're all sponsors. Thank you guys for feeding us.
Publix.
Oh, actually,
Publix.
well, we just we're in the works with the Roman Catholic Church right now to get a deal.
We're sponsored by Disney and
the,
Fox.
The thing is, we don't want to get paid in money from them. We want Roman stuff. We want stuff from the Roman Empire.
We are sponsored by Ozempic.
We all used to. We used to look really fucking fat.
Oh my god, we were so fat.
And we just started taking pills.
And we didn't have to do anything else.
The thing is with Ozempic is, it works great. Every fat person should take it. You just exercise is overrated. You don't need it. You don't need to die. You just need to take drugs.
We're sponsored by
take drugs. Take them.
AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. They're all some of our sponsors. Sprint.
And
Sprint doesn't even exist, but they still sponsor us.
They have a very small company now.
I don't think
just
Sprint's a thing anymore.
Cricket Mobile sponsors us.
Cricket Mobile.
We're sponsored by Converse.
Which one's Ryan Reynolds?
Mobile.
Mint Mobile? That's Ryan Reynolds?
You're thinking of Deadpool.
Yeah, it's not a phone company, bud.
Shit. Oh, yeah, fuck. Shit. Brought to you by Gucci Mane. Brought to you by the Wu-Tang Clan. Brought to you by Home Depot. Brought to you by Target.
And Aiden, just to be real, you missed when we were talking about good shit in the podcast, like hip-hop. We got in the big hip-hop
We were talking about good stuff while I was on.
You ruined the whole
you
thing.
derailed us, and you made us look like fools.
Yeah.
We don't need any help doing that. Okay, that's all, folks. Pretend I'm what's the guy's name that comes out the circle at the end of Looney Tunes?
That's all, folks.
Bugs Bunny?
No, the pig. Why the hell do I not know his
Porky
name?
Pig.
Porky Pig. That's all, folks.
I don't have to pretend you're Porky Pig.